Welcome everyone to another round 2 matchup. I believe this is our second to last one. We're having a bit of an alternate battle here. It looks like they had some unresolvable connection issues, and so Skimmy Style and Killermark have elected to have a 1v1 to decide this matchup. I've got a co-caster here with me. He has truly put up with quite a bit tonight. For his first foray into casting. It is one last time Ryze.
Hello all, once again.
And it looks like we got a Memory Lapse Sign of Saints deck here for Skimmy. Also with the Rian and Arrow of Artemis. Looks like he wanted to cover all the bases, but I really don't like doing both in these kind of decks.
Right.
Because then you end up, you don't want to overwrite the Rian or the Arrow of Artemis, and you're stuck with Sign of Saints in your hand.
I agree.
Now Sign of Saints doesn't do any damage, and it's also worse than having an orb because it doesn't even block a race.
Yeah, no, I think Sign of Saints especially, you really only need one backup skill for as far as attacks go, maybe two, but you're really relying on that as your primary hit. Not a bad choice against a jumper, but
You're saying you hate it.
Oh, Piece of Ice does connect. It looks like Mark's going for a Memory of Battle.
I do hear a little bit of, sounds like, inner monologue from Skimmy here, talking to himself.
Overwrites the Arrow. Could have done the Reincarnation because he had another one on bench.
That would have been my preferred choice as well.
Especially if he has a Trance in there, then he can snap Fortress. It's not half bad. Especially the spawn advantage there. If he had a Trance to go with that Arrow of Artemis, that would actually be very strong against Killermark right now.
Literally went through the thing.
Killermark is invisible now.
No, he's not invisible. Skimmy just doesn't have nameplates on.
Oh, I thought he did go invisible for a second there with the optic camo.
No, he's got a full hand.
Alright, so that is memory from Killermark as well here. Oh, nope. Gonna narrowly avoid that by dodging behind the pole.
Photon Barrier will be effective against that.
Sign of Saints is just not gonna do anything right now without a huge damage buff. It's not gonna break any shields.
Let's see if he can get this hung. Killermark. Oh, he hit the wrong button. He was trying to break it, and he used a shield instead. Skimmy should have this now.
Yep, you should hang that. And there's the hang.
That is the legal hang right there.
And Killermark does have a bunch of one-use skills, but his memory of battle itself, his big hitter in his deck, is really going to be neutered now. He has one shot if he's lucky.
Well, the question a lot of times in these 1v1s too, when you run something like this, is great, you've crippled your opponent, but can you finish him?
Right, you do need to really take it there and do enough damage to finish him off. Oh, the Photon Barrier breaks.
I mean, there could also be a Return to Nature or something in here. That's the other thing that makes this a little bit weaker in 1v1 is it can be gotten rid of. He's got stats, so there's a good chance he's got a Return to Nature in there somewhere.
I'd assume so. He does appear to be digging for the moment as well. I'd be surprised if he didn't have something.
Oh!
Oh!
Jumped right into
You
that.
had to know that was coming. The manual aim, after you stand too long there, that's always the go-to is the manual there across.
He had the Photon Barrier. He could have blocked it pretty easily at the time.
Now, is that Psychokinesis or Power? Because if it's Power, he could actually get a couple uses out of that.
No, that's Psychokinesis. That's
well, in a
Killermark.
memory deck, it's actually sometimes better to get the Power because it only, I think it costs 0 and it has like 5 uses.
That might be potentially what he's running, actually.
Trevor was a good round to play a little
But at this point, one Psycho Spear or something could finish him off.
Oh! A railgun almost hits, putting him at 1, just barely jumps, almost hits him in the ankle there.
Didn't even jump that.
Oh, Flame Sword misses.
Oh, he's going to finish with a memory.
Oh, wow.
I saw it coming.
Trades
I
for the
tried to fire
Rian.
at the same time.
Skimmy just wasn't playing safe there.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
really
Killermark
should
was
have
playing
played
pretty
more.
fast and loose with the couple of attacks he had left. I think he could have, set him up a little better, but the last memory
I guess I'm picking the map.
shoots
I
it
feel
at the
like
same
Skimmy
time
didn't
as the Rian.
utilize the Photon Barrier enough either. He had a pretty much infinite shield there that he should have been using to at least mitigate some of that damage he took.
All right, I went to 1301. Oh, that might be
Okay.
too far. Yeah, that's all right.
think
1239.
okay. All right, I'm at 1240.
All right, you hit play shortly a little after.
Yep. Mhm.
3, 2, 1, play.
Really good against that.
All right, level amp on Skimmy. Photon burst. We're probably gonna see
It's a really
classic
strong
laser.
start because we did see he had vibration earlier, so he's
No
gonna have.
shield on him though, so he's gonna get that spam pretty early. Oh, reflect mirror might help with that.
That's perfect.
Probably gonna wait up top here till we can get on vibration. Oh, unless Killermark decides to run up into his face, he does
He's
get
on
onto
the vibration now.
Oh, the Dragon Slayer.
That.
Gonna give Killermark free reign to spam. Oh, and he does take the
A
vibration.
racer,
lead.
well
Oh,
played. So this might be a
Opti
single
on-
school optic right here. I think it very well might be.
Yeah. I wouldn't plant the Opti here since I think Killermark has the better setup. All he would need is one shield. Although he is in a pretty poor spot at the moment with that twist laser getting right under the car there.
I think I would if it's the play that you want to make, I would play it.
What is what?
Oh, he's got a dash now.
Laser.
Another Opti on bench. 2 slide lasers. He's not going to be able to hit him from that angle. Oh, he does step out a bit. So Skimmy gets a shot.
Alright, he's got a Tiger Strength to go with the dash now. Uses it right as I say it.
This is when he decides to go ahead and plant the Opti. Oh, a photon barrier. Alright, that might keep him pretty decently safe from that laser spam. If he can shield at the right time.
It's just laser on laser, but Skimmy's still got that surprise photon burst coming.
He does. Oh, and Killermark's just dashing towards it. Going for the manual.
At least now he knows it's
gets
there.
The sniper burst. The photon burst,
Oh,
rather.
and he's dead.
Oh, that's it. That's
Off
it.
the top.
Whew.
That hit was a nice finish. Avoiding those manual lasers to get in the photon burst.
The clip preview is not very indicative of what I'm about to see.
It is not.
1541.
Okay. I'm at 1542.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Plenty of aura on Skimmy. Healthy start. Oh, and a blazing sword he decided to show off in his corridor.
Yeah. The audio cue might have reached Killermark if he's paying attention. It might be too far away for him to have heard it.
Goodness gracious. Put your nameplates on. Helps you see where your opponents are even when you're not locked on.
Oh, good hit.
That was a nice swing. We still don't know what Killermark's shield is though, so that might be taken early.
That time he does get the Ice Sword first.
Oh, and another Ice Sword follow-up.
He's not going to quite knock him off of Blazing, though. In the end, it is 5 for 5. It's not a bad trade.
Even trade. Again, I think the bigger worry was just what Killermark's shield was. He went in pretty blind with that. Could have lost Blazing early. Although with the
Yes.
Vacuum Slash,
No.
might be a memory deck.
All about the swords. I mean, if he's running a memory deck on Pano, then he's already past any help I can offer.
Another Vacuum Slash. I'm feeling memory. Turn to Nature is going to be nice to get some off.
I think Vacuum Slash is really underrated in 1v1. I don't know if I'd run 2, but I love in a
Definitely
nature
a
deck
brutal
running a
ride.
couple of heats and then dropping in a Vacuum Slash or 2 to bust the fortresses so that way you can keep up the Flame Sword pressure.
Or if you just catch your opponent by surprise, that's a quick 7 damage in the
Heal.
phase.
Yeah.
If you don't have the quick enough dodge instinct, it can really hurt.
Ricochet laser. It could be erased by the vacuum wall, but He could also just screw him over from behind.
The joys of walls. Oh, and that's going to be a flame sword.
Killermark with a good counter with the flame sword of his own.
Ready.
Ricochet laser. Yeah, that vacuum wall, that timing's just
Now
gonna
he
be
knows
rough.
he has it, so he knows to try and time around it.
Right.
Don't do it right there.
Seriously.
He jumps the
Oh,
first
he gets
one,
a little
hit
bit more
on the
damage.
ankle. Oh,
He's
and
just
that
so
was not a
low.
good
The
trade.
attrition.
I saw it coming.
Killermark leads 2-1 now.
Level.
That was a rough trade for the swords there.
What's left?
Probably should have been making his way to his base for a more reliable shield. I think the vacuum wall was just too high a cost.
All right, 1920.
See a cyclone.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm playing. I'm at 1929. My apologies.
1929? Okay.
Yep.
I'll pause it at 1929 and just give a real quick countdown.
Okay. No
Yeah,
problem.
this looks like it's going to be a compressor deck.
Yes.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Yep, so we see a quick cyclone on Skimmy at the moment. Only 3 aura start.
Another cyclone on the bench. Or no, he
Killing
overwrote
Arc,
one, I think.
5 aura start. Some yellow.
I like how I said it was pretty obviously a compressor deck while he's holding compressor in his hand. That's that top tier analysis you look forward to when Bregan casts instead of Affin.
I mean, it's completely possible Affin could have called it something else other than that compressor with the compressor on his hand.
You know, I want to tell you you're wrong. I really do. I can't. Compressor's kind of weird in 1v1. I know a long time ago it used to be popular. It's just, it's tough to pull off because you lack the way to close out the game.
So a photon burst versus a lightning sword, and they're just gonna pop their shields at each other. However, Skimmy gets rid of an eraser, I think a bit prematurely there.
Killermark's aura regen is super slow. That's got to be a 3 school. Like painfully slow aura regen.
Well, you should have
I
probably.
think he
thrown
was
the
trying to
compressor.
compressor him. I
Okay.
think he just fat fingered it.
Do hate when that happens. Got some more aura on bench. A Wraith shell. That could be useful. That could be really useful. If, oh, he did time it correctly. Excellent. So he takes
Just
the killer.
barely.
Very unfortunate.
And it was barely on the edge of it too, because it was already passing over.
With
He
a
wasn't
little
very
luck,
good.
he could
I
catch
had
the
more of
photon burst with that vacuum wall as well.
Killermark doesn't quite want to move in yet. Oh,
A ray shell of his own.
that doesn't
Yeah,
take in.
That's one of the other ironic things about compressor is it's almost weaker to a ray shields than anything else.
Killermark's been playing it pretty safe. We haven't seen a whole lot of out of him at the moment. Okay, there's the blaster.
That wasn't the right call. Good jump on the blaster, though. Needed to just vacuum wall it.
Having a nice little stare off. Oh,
He's
got
like
the-
nervous. Nope, he
missed.
missed it again.
Alright, and Eraser will take that as well if he can.
I mean, he still has the vacuum wall, but he should have had that blaster a long time ago.
Killermark's got a +2 acquisition on now. I'd expect rock shots, probably.
Good block there on the aura cannon.
Aura cannon with 8 aura.
I think I would have wanted the eraser for the photon burst still, though. Triggers faster, costs less.
Right.
I think I would have given up the vacuum wall there. Even though that means he's likely to keep the blaster longer. Well, because he got another vacuum wall on bench. If he knows he has more in the
Yeah,
deck,
I
I
think
think
so.
I would have sacrificed it there.
Like, really,
I would agree.
Oh,
Oh,
just
disintegrate.
not paying attention, and there's the
Literally just
disintegrate.
Man.
You can't look away like that. You just can't. And that
Yeah,
right
like
there
those
goes from a
hand on the
close
floor, like,
game
wipe
to
the floor.
Killermark is going to wipe the floor with this kid.
It unfortunately really does look
That
fatal at
zero
this
aura, I don't know if he has enough left in the arsenal to really get back in it. He clearly doesn't have enough to use vacuum wall, not
No.
enough to use a lightning sword for enough uses to get a kill, and
He
he'll
has
be
to
lucky
play
to get to
keep away,
5
right.
and use
He
a
has to play-
compressor.
He has to play keep away for the timeout clock, but it's gonna be rough with the kind of distance and damage skills Killermark has.
I mean, I don't even know if he has enough to block.
He certainly doesn't, at least with the skills he has now. If he's lucky he has another eraser he can use once.
Yeah, if he can get to 4, he can block with Fortress of Iron, and if he,
Right.
runs out the clock, he could maybe get this going. But he
Oh,
already took a
and the
railgun
hit
from across the map.
ankle.
He's just not watching.
Yeah, I didn't even.
He was moving towards the side to avoid it, but it caught him in the ankle as he was going towards the stairs. He's got one hit with a lightning sword, but it's not going to be enough. The health deficit especially is just too
Yeah,
Too
that
high.
that railgun was truly the nail in the coffin.
yeah. I think it's just a matter of time now, unfortunately.
I mean, I guess he could play Ring Around the Rosie here.
He can certainly try. And that seems to be his plan. Although Killermark is
He's catching him.
gaining on him. Oh, he has a nice lightning sword hit. Knocks
He
Killermark
only
off.
has one, but he knows how to use it.
He's got one aura at base. He could probably overwrite a Fortress of Iron to get another hit on the lightning sword.
That's
And
what
a
I would
potential
do.
shield.
Keep an eye on that railgun and, maybe get a shield. Maybe he's got another attack there. Maybe that one hits for 3. It's
I just
probably
want to play Ring
compressor.
Around the Rosie, though. Yeah, no, I would have overwrote the Fortress with the aura and then grabbed probably the shield and opened an eraser.
He keeps stutter stepping, and that's going to allow Mark to eventually catch him.
No, he just needs to keep smoothly moving around. And Mark
Boy.
is gaining from medium range into close range.
This is that top tier Phantom Dust action you signed up for.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's Ring Around the Tree Part 2. Only on Refinery, of all things.
Well, you can do it around the. There's a couple places you can do it on
Oh
Refinery.
yeah, you can do it on Sign as well. On the big tower in the middle.
There's at least 3 places that I can count you can do it on Refinery. I guess 4 if you count the upper level of the same tower.
At Phantom Dust developers, make less maps with giant circular things.
You know
in
what?
the
I
middle.
will leave them alone on Refinery if we can just fix the spawns on City.
That is a very fair point.
I got no complaints about Refinery when City and then some of the spawns that are on Highway exist.
Yeah.
Refinery's got some of the most balanced spawn points, and Mark is now really close.
He sure is, right on
With
Skimmy's
a couple
tail.
of
2
laps-
minutes and 30 seconds to go.
A couple of laps, if he's not holding the sticks right, he should catch him.
Oh.
Oh, that was pretty slick. That would have been an epic way for it to end.
It was a nice jump dodge from Skimmy, though.
I
However,
think
that
Mark's
does
going to
keep
get in
Mark-
range and be able to start sorting, though.
Yeah,
Nope, he
definitely brings him closer. Oh,
Are we going to go to a draw?
45 seconds. Skimmy might pull out the draw here.
I don't want to draw. What is he doing? He's going all the way back to his base. There's 30 seconds left. Oh, there's the killer
no.
satellite.
Oh, the killer satellite. He's trying to win with the killer satellite. Oh, he can't hit!
Yeah, he's technically
Jimmy
under the
just
platform.
Yeah, he just... Oh!
Oh, but that
Oh,
one
no!
wasn't quite.
Really?
Wasn't
I'm
watching!
pissed.
Oh!
I'm so pissed. I
Skimmy
thought that I could get
understandably
there.
kicking himself a bit here.
That was still kind of cocky, standing still for it. Like,
He
I
probably
don't
should
know
have
what's
moved.
in and what's not in there for Killer Satellite. It's real easy to walk that at that. If there's nothing else pressuring you, it is
When the
not
dot
hard to walk it a little bit.
when the dot was that bright underneath him that last time, you could see that it was going to hit, and he really just needed to
Yeah,
move.
it was only 30 seconds. He needed to just be walking
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Oh boy. Well,
Hopefully
that
lesson
is
learned.
that is a 3-1 victory for Killermark. I don't know if that quite redeems him for his loss to Anant a couple weeks back, but more points for Team Ska Boss.
And that's what matters.